example in the book of the sequential circuit design. Yeah, so the book goes through this example, but yeah, we're just gonna go through it a little slower. Okay, so the book gives this example, and they say there's this guy, and his name is Ben. That's what the book says. And he's trying to design a circuit to basically like monitor traffic lights to control traffic lights at his school. Not monitor, but to control them. Okay, so there's an intersection at the school. There's like a four-way intersection. And they say that basically like, I guess like, I don't know, like athletes, or no, like academic people like basically cross here, and then this is like sports people like cross here. So this is like the pathway for academic people, this is the pathway for sports people. And they call this, so yeah, okay. And so like, basically there's a problem because a lot of times there's like crashes here. There's like one person will be crossing like academic person or one into a sports person. So the school wants Ben to set up a system of traffic lights to prevent accidents. Okay, so you can call this. So let's say that there's like a light here called light A, and whatever light is going to be here is going to be the same traffic light here. So this is also light A, and then there's going to be a light B here, and there's going to be a light B here. So these are going to be the same, the light B is going to be the same, and the light A is going to be the same, like traffic lights. And then Ben has also set up like detectors at each path to see if there are people there, and we're going to call that traffic A and traffic B. So there's either traffic A here, or there's not traffic A, and there's either traffic B here, or there's not traffic B. Okay? And so this is the basic setup, and based on this, we basically want to create a circuit that will like detect if there are people here, it'll like output the right color, and like we'll see with the state diagram. So what the state diagram is going to look like, the finite state diagram is going to look like this. So we're going to have 4 states in this case. Okay, so let me draw this a little smaller. So S0, S1, S2, and S3. So at S0, this is going to be the initial state. So we can call this a reset. Because when you reset the circuit, it's going to go back here. And so, yeah, it's S0. And at this state, light A is going to be green, and light B is going to be red. So light A is green, and light B is red. Which means that people can cross here, and people who are here shouldn't cross. Okay, so now, when there's no traffic going across here, so when the traffic here is 0, we want to change the color of the lights. So we can say this by basically saying if TA not. So that means that when TA is 0, this will be a 1. Yeah, this will go. So it's basically saying when there's not traffic here. So like TA not, that makes sense, right? So when there's no traffic going across here, we want to cause a change in the lights. So we want LA to turn yellow, and we want LB to turn red. Yeah. So okay. So and then regardless of what happens next, we're gonna turn LA. Like I mean, we don't care if there's any traffic. Like we already detected there's no traffic here, so we're changing the lights to yellow. The A to yellow, we're changing B to red, and then we're gonna wait until the next clock like hit. So like you know what I mean. So like do, and then like so let's say that right here we're at state 0. Okay, and let's say that here we detected at this rising clock edge we detected there's no traffic. So we'll go into state 1, and then the next rising clock edge we're gonna go into state 2 regardless of whatever happened, of if there's traffic or not. Because yeah, we've already detected there's no traffic. So the next rising clock edge we're gonna go into state 2. Okay, so state 2, LA is red, and LB is green. Yeah, okay. So this means that people here aren't going to cross, and people here are going to cross. Okay? Now, as long as there's continually traffic going across here, then we're going to stay in state 2. So, what is this? TB. And also, here too is going to be the same thing. As long as there's continuously traffic going across A, we're going to stay here in TB. Not T. So as long as there's continually traffic going across this, we're going to stay in this state. So as long as TA is true, we're going to stay in this state. And as long as TB is true, we're going to stay in this state. And if TB isn't true, right? So if TB isn't true, so there's no traffic going across here, then we're going to change LB to yellow. And we're going to change, and LA is still going to be red. Okay, and now regardless of what happens next, the next rising clock edge, we're going to go back to S0. And go, yeah, we're going to go back to S0. Okay, great. So this is your finite state machine. Yeah. And basically what we want is, we want to somehow, we want to write a truth table to predict the next state based on the current state. Yeah, so we can do this by, so you have your current state, and then you have your inputs, and so the two inputs that are going to control this are TA and TB, right? So TA and TB, and then based on these inputs, we're going to get a new state, which we'll call S prime. Okay. So, okay. So if our current state, I'm just going to turn up the heat real quick. Okay, so if our current state is at S0, right? If we're at S0 and TA is 1, we want to stay in S0. We don't care about what TB is, so you can put an X there. Yeah. And if in our current state, if our current state is S0 and TA is 0, we want to move to S1, right? Because if there's no traffic here, then we want to make this a red light and give these people a green light. So yeah, we're gonna move to state S1. I mean, this is gonna give these, this is gonna make this a yellow light, but it'll actually make it a red light. Yeah, so we want to move to S1. Okay, and we don't care about TV again. So then, so now we're at S1. Okay, so if our current state is S1, regardless of anything, it doesn't matter, we're always going to go to S2. S1 is just kind of like the middle state where there's a yellow light. Okay, now at S2, if our TB is 1, we want to stay in S2. And if our TB is 0, sorry. If our TB is 1, we want to stay in S2, and we don't care about TA. And if our TB is 0, we want to, that means there's no traffic going across here, so we want to move to state 3, and we don't care about TA. We're going to move to S3. Okay. Now, we're in S3. We don't care about TA or TB. So we're going to move to S4, to S0 regardless. Okay. So this is how we can get our next state based on our current state. Okay. The problem with that though is that, like, we need to represent these states as like binary numbers so that we can construct like a truth table that we can make a circuit out of. So we're gonna call S0, 0, 0, S1, 0, 1, S2, 1, 0, and S3, 1, 1. Okay, so I'm gonna replace this with 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 0, 0. Okay, cool. So this truth table gives us our next state as a function of our current state. Okay, so let's try to actually like write an expression for this truth table. So and now since we have since we've changed to binary, we're actually going to add an extra column here. So like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 0, 0. And let's call this S1 prime and S0 prime. And if you wanted to, I guess you could also rewrite this. So we could rewrite this this as 0. So this is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 1. And this is S1, and this is S0. Okay, so this is like a normal truth table, right? So now let's write an expression for S1 and S1 prime and S0 prime. So okay, so S1 prime equals so here's a 1. So that is S1 not S0, and we don't care about TB here, plus S1 S0 not TB plus S1 S0 not TB not. And this can actually be simplified. You can do a Carnot out for this, but this can be simplified because regardless of whether TB is 0 or 1, one of these is always going to be true, which means that this expression would be like S1 not S0 plus S0 not S1. And this is the logic expression for an XOR gate. So this is really just so this is really just like S1 XORed with S0. So yeah, we just have an XOR gate that takes both of these as inputs. So that's our expression for S1x. And then, so for S0 next, we're just going to have S1 naught, S0 naught, TA naught, plus S1, S0 naught, TB naught. So that's our expression for S0. Okay, so we now have our next state based on our current state. Okay. So this is nice because it gives you the states, but we also have to worry about the actual output. So the logic behind, which lights are gonna be green and red and yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this truth table. And I'm going to rewrite these equations here. So S1 prime equals S1 XORed with S0 S0 prime equals S1 prime S0 prime. I mean, sorry, S1 naught S0 naught TA naught plus S1 S0 naught TB naught. Okay. So there, that is how you get your next state. That is how you get your go from your current state to your next state. And so now let's talk about the actual traffic lights. So the traffic lights depend on the state. Okay, and we just calculated. We have the expression for the state here, and we want to basically get the color of the traffic light based on what state we're currently in. So like if I'm in state S1, I want LA to be yellow and I want LA to be red. Now, we can't just say yellow and red in the truth table, so we need to assign some values to like green, yellow, and red. So let's say that green is 0, 0, yellow is 0, 1, and red is 1, 0. Green is 0, 0, red is 1, 0, and yellow, green is 0, 0, yellow is 0, 1, and red is 1, 0. Okay, so this allows us to go from the colors of the traffic light to like basically the binary representation of that, which is going to be useful for the truth table. So if we write out our truth table, we're going to care about the current state, so the bits of the current state, which are S1, S0, and then our output, so that's going to be LA1, LA0, so there's your traffic light here, and then LB1 and LB0, which are your traffic lights here and here. So here's LA, here's LB. Okay. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And remember, this is state 0, state 1, state 2, state 3. Okay, so at state, when you're in state 0, you want LA to be green, which means that this should be 0, 0. Okay, and now when you're in state 0, you want LB to be red, which means this should be 1, 0. And when you're in state 1, you want LA to be yellow, so that's going to be 0, 1. And you want LB to still be red, so 1, 0. And then when you're in state 2, you want LA to be red, so that's going to be 1, 0. And you want LB to be green, which is going to be 0, 0. And then when you're in state 3, you want LA to be red, which is still 1, 0. And LB should be yellow, which is 0, 1. Okay. So now let's write expressions for these. So we can do a Carnot map. So state 1 and state 0 are the inputs here. And then, so state 1 and state 0. And then, so we can say 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so if we're trying to look at the bit LA1, so LA1 is 0, and, that should be 0. So LA1 is 0 when these are both 0. LA1 is 0 at 0, 1. It is 1 at 1, 0. And it is 1 at 1, 1. So this is S1. So therefore, LA is just S1. LA1 is S1. LA0 is just S1 not S0. LB1 is just, I mean, you can really just look at the two tables. So like, anytime that S1 naught is true, LB1 is going to be on. So it's just going to be S1 naught. And LB0 is going to be, is just going to be S1, S0. Okay. So now we have everything we need. So I'm going to erase this. So we have everything we need. We have our equations for going from the current state to the next state, and then we have our equations for the current output. I guess like traffic light output. Okay, which is just LA1, S1, LA0, S1 bar, S0, LB1, S1 bar, LB0, S1, S0. Alright, so then let's build this. So we're gonna need a state register so a state register is just like this. I'm actually gonna erase this stuff. Yeah. So that way we can draw our circuit. So we need a state register. So a state register, and the state register is going to take 2 input bits, right? Because in order to determine our current state, we need 2 bits. So this state register is going to take S1. Well, it's going to take S1 prime and S0 prime, and it's going to output S1 and S0. Yeah, so it's going to do that, and then yeah. So based on our state we're at, like it's going to output our, yeah, so based on the state that we're currently at, it's going to like output our next state. Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's going to compute the next state based on the current state. Yeah, and so it's going to copy at the so at the high edge of the clock, whatever. I mean, like when the clock goes to 1 at the positive edge, whatever is at S1 prime is going to be copied to S1. So this is your clock input, okay, and this is your reset. This is your reset. Okay. So whenever the clock is high, it's going to copy whatever is at S1 prime to S1, and it's going to copy whatever is at S0 prime to S0. Okay. So now we have to actually put the logic of our circuit together. So we know that our next state logic is this. Okay. So okay, this is actually important. The reason that this is S1 prime and this is S0 prime is because we're taking our current state and then we're doing some stuff to it to calculate our next state, which will become our current state when the clock goes to a 1. That's what I was looking at before. So the reason that this is S1 prime and this is S0 prime is because we're calculating from these equations, right? We're calculating S1 prime and S0 prime based on S1 and S0, right? So here's our current state. We're doing some stuff to it. We're calculating our next state, and then when the clock input goes to 1, that next state is going to become our current state. So let's do that, okay? Let's do this stuff. So we have an might be running out of space here, but okay. So we have an XOR gate right here. This is an XOR gate, and it takes it's an XOR gate. So and this takes in both S1 and S0 according to this equation, right? Because we said right here we can calculate S1 prime by putting S1 and S0 into an XOR gate. Now at this point, I don't really care like how I calculated this in XOR gate. I'm beyond that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've already done that. Like, all you need to know is here are my equations. Just like blindly follow them and to get this thing, because we've already done the hard work by actually calculating that. Okay, so we're gonna feed S1 into this XOR gate, and then we're gonna feed S0 into this XOR gate. Okay, and this is our S1. Like that. And now, so I'll draw this as weird label. This is our S1 prime. And S0 prime. Okay. And S0 prime is going to be S1 naught. So, okay, we need two AND gates here. And they're going to be S1 naught. So I'm just going to put a little bubble here for naught. So S1 naught, S0 naught. We're also going to need TA, so here's like our TA, and that's going to be TA naught, is going there. Okay. And then our other AND gate is going to be S1, so S1, S0 naught, and then TB naught. Okay, these are going to be OR together, like that, and they're going to be fed into S0. Okay, so now we're calculating our next state based on our current state, and the next state will become our new current state when you change the clock input to a 1. So right here we're calculating our next state based on our current state, or we're using the current state to calculate the next state. Okay. But now, once we have this current state that we're in, right, this other state, we want to say, oh yeah, that's great, but like we need to actually make the traffic light output something. So to do that, we just say, okay, well, I mean, we said that LA1 was just S1. Okay, fine. So here's LA1. We said LB1 was S1 naught. Okay, fine. So this is your NOT gate. This is LB1. We said LA0 was S1 naught. A little bubble there. And we said and S0. So this is well, I guess actually this should really LA0 should be here. So this is LA0, which is so LA0 is S1 naught and S0, and then LB1 is just S1 naught, and LB0 is just S1 and S0. Okay. So, I mean, that's the answer. That's the circuit. And so basically the point of this is that you're feeding a clock into this, right? Like this. And there are going to be people moving around these intersections. So this TA and this TB are going to be changing. And when they change, the change is going to be detected on this rising edge. Because at every rising edge, all of these calculations will be reperformed again. So, well, yeah, I mean, these calculations will be reperformed again. Well, so at every rising edge, these outputs will be changed. And these will already be ready to go from like before. So like, let's say that we start out at like state 0, right? So these are, so we're starting out at state 0, right? So these are state 0, okay? Now, based on whatever, so this is state 0. And now, based on whatever TA and TB are at state 0, there's going to be some next state that's ready to go. It's like right here, it's like, okay, I'm ready to go, I got the next state, good to go. And then as soon as it hits the next clock edge, this next state is going to be like, boop, like output there. And then so all these traffic lights are going to change. So the output of the traffic lights change at every rising edge if they need to, based on changes in TA and TB. And so that's how you work through that problem. Hopefully that helped.